What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. I'm sorry about the other video, man. I had an audio issue. I know what the problem was. I recorded a 13 goddamn minute video. I ain't recording in my audio, just music. Oh boy. But anyway, man, yesterday was the opening day of the NBA for the 2024-25 season, and the Los Angeles Fakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves faced off at Crypto, although I know some people still say Staples, but you know, this is Jenny Bus era or Jenny Bus line era. So the Timberwolves let the Lakers, aka the Fakers, stomp all over them, but a final score of 110-103. In particular, Anthony Davis destroyed fake Defensive Player of the Year winner Rudy Gobert. I'm going to tell you something right now. Rudy Gobert should not have won that award 4 times. And before he even steps foot as a Hall of Famer, because they're going to put him in because of them 4 awards. We know he's not really a Hall of Famer. But they better put Mark Eaton in before him. Mark Eaton was way better than this guy. And I don't care about, well, if you put him in today's game, his lack of foot. I don't care about none of that. He was better. Okay? In his era, he was far more dominant, and he deserves being in the Hall of Fame but way before this guy. But Anthony Davis had 36 points, 11 of 23 shooting, 1 of 3 from downtown, 13 of 15 from the line, 16 rebounds, 4 assists. He cooked Rudy Gobert in the high post, in the low post, in the mid-range. Even showed glimpses of the long dormant three-point shot that he used to display in his days with the New Orleans Pelicans in his first year or 2 with the Lakers. LeBron James was, he got some stat pad points at the end, but he finished with 16 points on 16 shots, 7 of 16 from the floor. Only got to the foul line once. And, look, the thing about LeBron James, he's probably going to get credit because they won, even though this game really was won off the back of Anthony Davis. But, it was another achievement that LeBron James made tonight, or last night, I should say, that the media is going to ignore, but we aren't. And it's going to be the topic of my next video. Bronny James put a little feel-good moment with LeBron James, first father-son duo to play in the same game in NBA history. Bronny James scored about as many points as, John F. Kennedy scored last night. He scored about as many points as Wilt Chamberlain did last night. Matter of fact, he scored about as many points as, Oscar Robertson has scored since 1975 in the NBA. But he gets all this talk, and they say he's a star. I guess he's a falling star because it just seems like this season is going to be pending disaster if they give him any meaningful minutes. This whole father-son thing, Ken Griffey Jr. and his father, Ken Griffey Sr., were invited to the game. I think most people know that LeBron James grew up a huge fan of Ken Griffey Jr., and I suspect that some of this motivation to do all of this, aside from his rampant and unchecked and unbridled narcissism, comes from the fact that he just want to replicate things that other people have done that he considered people that he admired, The thing about Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. is that Ken Griffey Sr. could really play, but his father was very good, but Ken Griffey Jr. was even better than his father, a first ballot Hall of Famer, a guy that had back-to-back 56 home run seasons, a guy that won the MVP award in 1997, batting .304, I believe it was, with 56 home runs, 147 RBI, a guy that hit 630 career home runs. This is a guy that was legit. Bronny James needs to quit, okay? Ken Griffey Jr. was legit. Bronny James needs to quit. Maybe he'll prove us wrong. I don't know. Aside from that, outside of, I would say, Anthony Davis and Rui Hachimura, the Lakers didn't really play all that well. You know what I'm saying? Although I got to say, Anthony Davis was magnificent last night on both ends of the floor. Um, there were stretches where Anthony Davis was down the stretch, was playing defense and switches against Anthony Edwards, and he was D'ing his ass up. I mean, knocking away his dribble, contesting him to the point where, and stand with him, and to the point where he was forcing Anthony Edwards to take bad shots. Matter of fact, Anthony Edwards took, I think, the majority of his shots were 3-pointers, upon which he only shot 5 of 13 from the floor. It's not terrible, 38%. But man, if you're going to take that many threes, you need to be shooting at a higher percentage than that, like almost 50% if you're going to take that many threes when you're Anthony Davis. Okay? I'm tired of the Michael Jordan comparisons with this dude. Michael Jordan would not have settled for that many threes. He eschewed three-point shooting. He didn't want to fall in love with that shot. Another thing about Anthony Edwards, is it me or does this dude seem to have problems beating guys off the dribble? He seems to me to be a two-trick pony. Either he's shooting threes or sometimes he's able to drive the basket and get some highlight reel dunks. By the way, he complains about hurting his wrist when he dunks, which I've never heard a player openly complain about that. I've read that players grumble about it, but to go to the media and complain about how your wrist hurt dunking the ball, these guys just built different, man. And it ain't a good way either. This dude talking about he want to go play football when he go win a championship. Man, look, you better go try to get to an NBA Finals first before you try to pull some MJ move, MJ got bored with basketball because he was dominating so much. He was dominating to the point where it was boring to him, and he wanted to create a new challenge for himself, so he went to play baseball. Although I do get the rumors about it being a secret suspension, but I'm just going to go with the official story. Look, another thing I want to talk about is this. Aside from Rudy Gobert being fake, I've always thought the Timberwolves should have ran this back. I get that economically it wasn't feasible for them to do this. But you got to reward the team, reward those players that made it to the conference finals. And you don't do that to your fans, man. You at least owe it to your fans to pay that luxury tax, pay the penalty if they're rewarding it with success. And then look, if they don't replicate or even do better than last year, then you bust the team up. But you don't do that, man. Look, this is why when they made that trade for Julius Randle, many of us was like, what the hell? I get it. The Knicks lost badly to the Celtics, but that's the Celtics. They're the defending NBA champions. You're not going to beat them if they're hitting 17 goddamn threes. You're not going to beat them when Jason Tatum's hitting 8 out of 11 three-point attempts. So don't put too much stock into that game if I'm the New York Knicks. Back to these mobs. You could say, well, should you put too much stock into this performance? Well, I mean, you could argue that, but at the end of the day, Julius Randle is not Cat. Cat sometimes will struggle offensively. But last year, he upped the ante on the defensive end. We saw that in that series against Joker in the conference semis, right? In the Western Conference semis, they were playing the Denver Nuggets. Karl-Anthony Towns' size was problematic for Joker. Whereas in other matchups, Joker would have had maybe, 27, 15, and 13 and shot like 65%. He had more against Cat and Rudy Gobert. When that size was bothering his ass, he would have like 31, 12, and 6. And he would take almost 30 shots. So it's taken away from his passing attack, which can kill you. And he was having to take more shots to get his points. You still won't get his point because he's a great player, but he had to work harder for it. Now you got Julius Randle, who's never noted for his defense like that. He didn't play any defense last night that I could see. It had mediocre numbers. Julius Randle can be good, but he don't give you what Cat give you. He's smaller than Cat. He's not a good outside shooter. He has his moments, but he's below average, and he's very streaky. And one thing Ticket TV said is real true about Julius Randle. It takes him a while to get his season started. He starts slow. He starts infamously slow. The problem is he is extremely streaky, and he also finishes seasons often weak. He's injury prone, and we know how he chokes in the playoffs. Matter of fact, he's in the top 5 in playoff history in turnovers per game. Now, to be fair, he had the ball more in his hands in New York, but that's going to be a problem if he's turnover prone. And then another thing, the Minnesota Timberwolves coach ain't off the hook either. He ain't off the hook either. What's his name? Chris Finch. You can argue that the Timberwolves organization got rid of Cat not just because of financial burden, but also because they want to build this team around Anthony Edwards. So then, why don't you play the guys who's playing well? Why aren't you playing your bench more? Let me see something. See if I can pull up some numbers here. Yeah, why are he playing his bench more, man? Now look, Mike Conley shot like crap last night, but a lot of these bench guys did not get minutes. You know what I'm saying? The guys who are playing hard, the guys who are giving effort on defense, you don't play them, but you're playing all these dudes that's making all the money, and I get all of that. Politics is involved a little bit, but these dudes ain't balling, man. Then you don't call timely timeouts. You know, coaches, great coaches, Phil Jackson knew when to call timeout. If he saw momentum shifting or think of the guys look disorganized, they looked a little lost offensively, he would call a timeout and get those guys situated. Sometimes you need to call a timeout to calm them down. You know, things are getting a little out of sorts. This dude, Chris Finch, just sitting there. Then he got there to call a fucking timeout with 20 seconds left in the game. Why? The game is over. So, no, I'm tired of this. If Doc Rivers and Draymond Green are held accountable, not Draymond Green, excuse me, if Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham, if these guys are held accountable, when they lose, Chris Finch, some of these other dudes, they got to be held accountable. The Timberwolves, if they underperform this year, Chris Finch need to be fired. He need to be on the hot seat too. These guys just be hiding under the desk like Bob and Beetlejuice. When the media glare, highlight, tries to put his microscope on them or his magnifying glass, they try to hide. You know what I'm saying? Nope. These guys need to be scrutinized too. These coaches are getting paid millions of dollars. So J.J. Redneck was pretty much, in my opinion, gifted a victory based upon the ineptitude of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the greatness of Anthony Davis, who it's obvious he was slighted by BSPN's fake ranking of having him below LeBron and James. Did he look like he was lesser than LeBron and James? Remember, the guy that we call street clothes, well, Charles Barkley called him that, he played 76 games last year and was balling. And to me, he should have been more in the running for defensive player of the year last year. You know? But in conclusion, the Timberwolves blow a game that they should have won. Anthony Edwards is not a leader. He was 10 or 25 from the floor. 13 of those attempts were three-pointers. Mike Conley played like shit. Dante DiVincenzo played like shit. Naz Reid didn't get enough attempts or enough minutes. This is the guy that's the reigning Sixth Man of the Year winner. Julius Randle is going to be mediocre in my opinion. D'Lo played like crap, but it didn't matter. So that was it, man. That's all I got to say, man. Let's just see if Lakers can keep this up. I doubt it seriously, but we'll see. Tell me what you guys think.